Good morning, everyone. A topic that is so close to my heart. Time and again, repeatedly, I have glued together all the difficulties, adversities in a very positive and a very fruitful value addition way. Life has offered its challenges. Life has shattered a lot of dreams, but it has given me the energy, it has given me the ability to shatter some stereotypes. If I take you to my childhood, the childhood itself told me what Kim Suki actually meant. I'm a second born to my parents. I am a daughter who loved toys which were basically meant for boys. And I'm so thankful to my parents that they never, ever gave genders to colors, hobbies, toys. I was never told that you're a girl, you're going to behave in a certain way. Until one day, a neighbor lady said that Deepa is finally behaving like a girl. And that alarmed my dad. He says, why? Where is this coming from? What is making her believe that Deepa should be behaving in a certain way? And when he kind of checked and he inquired, she said so because I was no longer coming out of the house. I was sitting inside playing with dolls. Thankfully, my father was a progressive thinking person. He took me to the hospital to get my psychological analysis to know what is that which is making me not go out and play. Is it the stereotypical suggestions of the society that girls are supposed to play with dolls and boys are supposed to play with toys, which are football, cricket bats, basically outdoors? But once that was confirmed that there is no psychological pressure or so the focus changed towards the physical. And as the checkup started from one hospital to another, from one city to another, an army man, my father, exhausted his money, he exhausted his leave, and I was put in Pune Command Hospital, a place where for the first time I learned what was the stereotype that the society suffered from. Instead of saying all the best that made the girl walk again, most of the suggestions were filling the cracks which a family was going through with negativity of, oh Lord, this girl is going to be a vegetable. Let Almighty take away her soul and release this body which is filled with pain. Instead, I saw my parents work hard. I saw them managing their time, managing their routine, managing their timetables in a way that they could make me the priority, my treatment the priority, and also continuously striving to make me better. I learned what is resilience. I learned what is not to give up. I learned what it was meant to make the best of the resources that we had. In short, I learned the major lessons of my life even after my surgery of my first tumor as a child. When I was put in rehab training and I was put in serious physiotherapy, I learned what it was to push your boundaries, what it was to raise your bar each day. And because one day you were made to stand for 2 minutes, the next day your time was increased to 4 minutes. And I learned that every time you put in more effort, every time you step out of your comfort zone, every time you push your boundary, you can become a better version of yourself. What people thought were the most difficult times, they actually became the nursery of the values with which my mind became the positive thinking mind that I have today and of which I'm very proud. Moving forward, I walked again. I took part in a lot of sports because I always felt that whenever I will be winning an award or whenever I will be winning a sports event, I will actually be putting that glue together to the cracks which people thought had come in my life. And through that, I will shine bright with my achievements. And with these values, I grew up, fell in love with a lot of passion, special biking, and if we see during the childhood only, I had started loving outdoors, and somewhere these outdoors became my passion, my sort of the most important thing to me were outdoors. And I met a person in my life who equally loved sports and outdoors. And together we moved ahead. I got married. A very beautiful fairy tale marriage where we shared common passions, common hobbies. And after that, two lovely kids were born. But unfortunately, my daughter Devika had a head injury as a young child. A head injury that left the left upper body totally paralyzed. 20 years between my paralysis as a child and her paralysis as a child. But nothing had changed. The stereotype around disability, and especially a girl in disability, everything came back like a deja vu. I felt that it wasn't me who suffered the cracks. It was the mindsets of the society that actually suffered the cracks. I had found my glue. I had found the lacquer with the gold in my passion and positivity. And with the same positivity, I brought up my daughter. Maybe her left hand is still smaller than her right. Maybe her left leg limps. But the glue of positivity that we both chose, it gave us a brighter future, a better vision. And with that, I even, being a mother of two, went on to win a beauty contest. I was selected as a Navy Queen, and everybody praised my body for being beautiful. Oh, she's a mother of two, still managed to win a pageant. She walked the ramp. Overall, unfolded into the divine vision of the Creator. Feeling beautiful, people calling you beautiful, and things looked perfect for a while. Till the doctors rediscovered the tumors, and once again, everything shattered. It broke into pieces when you were told that you only have 7 days to celebrate walking. Surgery will not ensure life. You may die on the operation table, and even if you survive, you will be living with chest below paralysis all your life. After the surgery, further complications happened. Cerebral fluid leaked, and between the shoulder blades happened three major surgeries, 200 stitches, seven vertebrals, discs chopped, chest below total paralysis, the lungs not being able to breathe completely because half of them had that no torso balance, couldn't raise both my arms. My spine developed a kyphotic deformity. I suffered no temperature control in the body. The blood circulation is not as normal as any other human being. And above all, I don't have a bladder or a bowel control. Every drop of water has to be measured. Every morsel of food has to be calculated. If I am not careful, I end up embarrassing myself by wetting my diapers or passing stool at a time which could be very odd. So I have to be always very conscious. And then came once again the stereotypical mindset taboos around disability. And everybody said she's going to be a liability, she's going to be a burden. A mother and daughter paralyzed in the same house, going to the hospital together. There is no future here. There is just everything shattered, everything negative, everything sorrowful. But we decided that no, that is not going to happen. We, uh, rather than, uh, we decided that this is not something going to be hidden. We are going to rise above it. We are going to accept and adapt to the changes. We are going to learn the new bodies that our soul is thriving in. Because at the end of the day, my body could have been paralyzed, my soul was not paralyzed. And major lesson that I learned that life is the only festival that can be celebrated every day. It does not depend on any dates. And the idea is not just to survive, but to thrive. It is not about just living. It is about being alive. I decided that no medical problem is ever going to stop me from feeling beautiful. If I walked the ramp then, I decided to walk the ramp again. I learned the major lesson that people will look at you the way you look at yourself. Moving forward with all my what can I do attitude rather than what I have lost. I first learned to be a restaurateur. That was my first step to finding my first golden guide, which was becoming financially empowered. Financially empowered. Moving forward, I also turned a speaker. That also gave me financial empowerment and a platform to speak about ability beyond disability. I turned a swimmer at the age of 36, learning rehabilitation, going for hydrotherapy, taught me how to be a sportswoman. I used that potential to my advantage and I started swimming internationally. And when I became an athlete, I would win the faith of everyone and go on to become a biker. It wasn't easy. It meant hundreds of emails. It meant policy changing. It meant pushing people to actually accept that a woman in chest below paralysis wanted to do that. But resilience came in handy. And I did become a biker, not just biker in a reality show, but also a biker where the icons of biking started biking with me. I was able to change the mindset and the Motor Vehicle Act at the same time, which not only benefited me, but it benefited many more like me. And I took it a notch higher by becoming a rally driver, which also meant acceptance of modification to the cars. And that changed everything in India. People like me started driving. I made some Limca records to prove a point that when we look at positivity and we are eager to learn in life, we can go ahead and do anything what we like. Crossing a river Yamuna, riding a bike, driving in high altitude, all that was the little glue that was putting all my pieces together. Another record in pursuance of making some sports policies, demanding policies, I drove from Chennai to Delhi, which made me a member in the 5 Year Planning Commission, and I was actually sitting and making policies for disability sports. Joined the world of athletics at the age of 40 and traveled the world to win medals. I did not die in a room as I was told that with this disability, with zero control on bladder and bowel, I'll probably die in my own urine and feces. Another shattering moment came when my javelin event did not come at the Paralympics, and I had barely 11 months to train again, to change every course of training because from a javelin, my equipment became a shot put. People said a lady with chest below paralysis at the age of 46 years cannot grow muscles. I worked hard, which resulted into India's first ever female Paralympic medal across any sport. Had I given up, had I not been resilient, had I not chosen to work hard with positivity, we would not have got this medal. And with the medal, shone bright certain some beautiful moments of life that are etched in the memory forever. And at the age of 42, when I won my Arjuna Award, everybody said it was the time for me to retire. I can retire because at 42, you have achieved a picture with the president. That's all right. Do we allow others to paint the colors of their dreams in our dreams, their thoughts in our thoughts? No. I believed in myself. I continued and then got my another picture with the president. And at 47, my third picture with the same president, but I picked up by Padma Shri. This is all about persistence and continued learning. President changed, but I continued to win. And at 48, after winning two more medals at the Asian Para Games, and making my third consecutive record at the Asian Games. Finally, I got my Khel Ratna, becoming the oldest ever active athlete to win a Khel Ratna at the age of 49 years. I understood that when we work on our sources of happiness, which can be our hobbies, our passions, we remain soul happy. Outdoor activities revive my soul, and I do that. And when you are complete with it, when your passions and your ability and your happiness exudes from within, without focusing on the negative, only keeping a positive mindset, you can also become a medium to glue others together. In the leadership role, I'm very happy that India won maximum number of medals. When I had gone to Rio, I won one medal. When I took the team in my leadership role, helping others to find their passions and their abilities, well, I came back with 19 medals. And in Paris, Tokyo 24, the team could win 29 medals, adding 14 more female medals. That's what you can do. It currently serving as the Asian Paralympic Committee board member, now looking after the para sports in 7 countries. Started a foundation, Feeling Happiness, with the support of my daughter. Uh, my daughter also recovered from her share of disability, and we are the only mother daughter duo in the world who are now playing together and winning medals. And through the foundation, we started helping a lot of other people. Life is about learning, and whatever be the age, I never stop dreaming, I never stop limiting my vision, I never stopped learning. Today I have 3 doctorate degrees. I'm lovingly called Dr. Deepa Malik. And even at the age of 53, when I was made the president of the Paralympic Committee, I wanted to learn good governance because I had been an athlete, a homemaker, a mother, but I never knew how to go about administrative services. So I chose to learn again. And that's what life is about. You continue to learn, you continue to win, and never give up. Never give up. There is never a dead end in life if you are willing to prepare, you're willing to accept the change, and you're willing to fight the fear of unknown. You can build yourself together again. We started our day with lighting a lamp, which meant that, as our host speaker said, that we can always eliminate darkness. And when my parents named me, they named me Deepa. Deepa means a lamp. Every time a crack appeared, my father taught me to fill it with the golden light and put it all together again. As my name says, and as a poem dedicated to my father, it is Deepa, आग की ज्वाला सा, ज्योति के उजाला सा, आग की ज्वाला सा, ज्योति के उजाला सा, दीपक रखा है मैंने नाम तुम्हारा, जीवन के किसी संघर्ष से डर न जाना, दीपा बेटी मेरी तुम सदा उम्मीद का एक नया दिया जलाना। जय हिंद, जय भारत।